Hi, my name is Anna Bagayan, and we are at LMF Gallery in Sierra Madre at my current show, Chaos Theory. The title of the show, Chaos Theory, refers to a relatively new type of science that posits that there is order in the chaos and chaos in order. So the concept of my work is I create chaos and then I extract order out of the existing images. These paintings right here, they all have the same template underneath. What I do is I create a perspective grid based on the golden ratio, and I draw all the lines and intersections, and you have a template. And then from there, I try to pull out images. For example, a sunset, a volcanic eruption. I sometimes let the template decide what it's going to be based on the composition that I get. There's a lot of working with whatever comes out, like working with randomness and disorder. So it's very on theme with the chaos theory. The way I measure with the golden ratio is I use a Fibonacci gauge, which is this instrument right here. And it shows you the golden ratio, these two sections in relation to each other. This is a ratio that appears everywhere in nature. We know that it exists in flowers and plants. But what I wanted to do with this show was show that there's also the golden ratio in the opposite of growth patterns, which would be explosions, dispersion. I start with the perimeter of the canvas, and I take the tool and I make measurements of the golden ratio. With something of this size, I had to tape two rulers together and then stand back and take the measurement, note the number, and then mark it down. But from there, I will keep making notches of the golden ratio. So if you go throughout the painting, you will find it in random places. So all of the lines, they weave together and they create this chaos, but there is actually a structure that I follow for each one, so they all look exactly the same, but with slight variations. For this show, I've been working with principles of chaos theory to create art out of science. So for example, these paintings here are based on something called the chaos game, which is a mathematical structure for creating fractals. Next, you pick a starting point anywhere inside the triangle and you roll a die. Whatever number the die lands on, that is the direction you're going to go. And the process is you measure from the starting point halfway to whatever number that you land on. So then you make that mark, and in this case I used beads and thread for the mark making. But what eventually happens is all those dots start appearing and a fractal shape appears. There's a picture of it right here that's fully formed. And so the triangles in the art all follow the same process, and I stopped whenever I felt an interesting image came out. I wanted to show you some of the interesting things that appeared when I made the beaded pieces. In addition to fractals, which you could see here, there's a big triangle and then the little triangles. In this one, I stopped when I saw a waveform. It's symbolic of the particle-wave duality, where the wave is made out of dots. But I stopped because conceptually it works with the painting of Los Angeles being flooded in the future. The butterfly effect is one of the principles of chaos theory that says small changes in initial conditions create large changes down the line. Another interesting thing that happened with this piece is the empty space where there should be a triangle. Before it got filled up, I saw butterfly shapes appear. And if you have heard about chaos theory, you know the butterfly effect is one of the principles of chaos theory, where that shape appears in many different places of nature. This series of paintings are inspired by Nikola Tesla, and when I first showed people the drawings that I had done of the template, somebody told me that the zigzag lines looked like the pictures of Nikola Tesla with his Tesla coil. So what I did was I took photographs of Nikola Tesla and I tried to match the zigzag lines with the electricity lines. And I mentioned the butterfly effect. In this photograph, you can see how there's a butterfly shape to the electricity. And so the same thing happens in my template. There's a butterflying effect where the wings go up and down.